Hey you guys, so from the title of this video you guys are probably like freaking out. You're probably like, oh my gosh, I hope she's not quitting YouTube and stuff. Well, I don't want to break it to you guys, but I'm not quitting YouTube, but I did quit my retail job. I recently just quit my retail job, and I wanted to do a video pretty much explaining why I quit my job, and just to make a video for people like me who are in my age and who are in like a company and they're like very unhappy. I just kind of want to make this video to like explain my situation and like how it kind of helped me. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so pretty much I worked at a JCPENNY'S, and I was hired around seasonal time, and I originally applied to a makeup store inside of my JCPENNY'S, and I was not hired for that because they were already, I guess, fully staffed. So they ended up hiring me for a sales associate, and I was okay with that because I really just wanted a job because I wasn't working and I felt like I needed a job, but I like having extra money. My mom does help me with school and stuff like that because I am in college, and she feels like focus on school, but I do like having extra money because I like stuff. So pretty much I was hired as a sales associate, and I actually really liked it at first. We were fully staffed, so things would get done fairly quickly. I worked really hard, and I ended up getting hired on full-time. When you're really good during seasonal time, they'll keep you on full-time and they'll let you like stay and not have to leave and like find another job. So that was really happy. I felt like really accomplished as far as that aspect of it, because I felt like I had to earn it and I had to work really hard, and it was only like me and like literally 3 or 4 or 5 other people who actually got to stay, and they hired a lot of people. So I was really happy and ecstatic about that. So as the seasonal kind of thing ended and we got into like regular months or like chill months, I started realizing that I was pretty much miserable. I did not like doing anything as far as folding clothes, as far as like anything. Like I didn't like doing anything. I didn't like folding clothes. I didn't like putting stuff away. I didn't like going into a dressing room and it's like 100 items. I didn't like that at all, and I felt like it became more intense because before we had so many people and I talked to so many people that when I was on the floor, I actually liked it because I would have people to talk to, and the time would go by really fast. But all my friends that I made, they didn't get to stay, and then one of the girls who did stay, she ended up quitting because she was in like she was in medical assisting like classes, and she had to leave because she was like, I can't do school in this anymore, it's becoming too much. So I was like by myself, and there would be days where I would have like an 8-9 hour shift, and I would literally be on the floor by myself with clothes for like 7 hours, 8 hours, and then somebody would come in when I'm about to leave. So it was pretty miserable. I would have no one to talk to. It was just lonely, and I just like time would go by so fast. Like I was literally becoming miserable. Like people would even ask me all the time. Like I used to be like, everybody used to be like, oh, you're always smiling, you're always happy, da da da. And literally like people started asking me what was wrong with me. Every time I came in there, people were like, what's wrong with you? And I would just be like, nothing. Like in my mind, I'm like, nothing's wrong with me. I don't like this. And I just couldn't keep, I just was unhappy, and I kind of was just sucking it up because I was like, it's my job. I have a job. Let me be grateful that I have a job. I didn't want to seem ungrateful because there are people out there who would love to have a job, and I kind of was like, let me suck it up and let me just deal with it because it's a job and this is what comes with the job. So a few weeks kind of passed by, and then the makeup store within my JCPENNY'S were hiring for like a beauty advisor. So I always shop in there. Like I always shop in there and buy things. So one of the girls she used to always tell me like, you look like you should work in a makeup store. You look like a makeup store girl. Your hair always done. You always got dresses on and stuff. You need to work in here. You need to apply in here. So I said okay. So I applied, and you know, my assistant store manager, she found out about it, and she was like, it's okay, it's cool, you can do that, it's fine, you can switch over. She pretty much was saying I'm okay with it. Like she pretty much, to me, she gave me the okay that I can leave working in like the JCPENNY'S area and work in the makeup store, because they were pretty much 2 separate companies. They're together in one store, but they're 2 separate things. So I could switch over, and it was going to be a whole another process. So after after she told me that, about a week later, she came to me and she was like, oh, the makeup store is really short staffed. They don't really have a lot of people. So, you know, we need you to help in there. It's just, you know, it's not permanent yet, but we just need somebody to help right now. I was happy. You know, I was ecstatic because I was just like, okay, I really wanted to do this. This is something I always wanted to do. I always wanted to work in this makeup store. That was like my dream since I was like 15, and I really started to wear makeup, that I was going to work in that store, in that specific store. So I was really just happy to be helping out. Because like literally like 3 people quit all around the same time, and so they were literally like super short staffed. So I was working there, and literally I was in there all the time. Every time I came into work, every time I clocked into work, I was in there, and I clocked out of there. Every time I came into work, I was there. I wasn't on the floor ever, like when I was helping out in there, which I didn't mind because I thought and I figured that I was gonna be able to stay in there and like permanently work in there and not on the floor anymore. Wrong. So like I was working in there, do my little thing, and a month passed by, and you know, even the manager in the makeup store, she told me, she was like, we're gonna get your uniform, we're gonna get you training, pretty much making me feel like I was gonna stay in there. And you know, as time was going on, I kept working in there, and I kept going in there, and I kept coming into work, and my schedule says, you know, the makeup store. I was like, what's going on? Like, why am I not getting trained? Why is things not happening to get me my dress? You know, they have like little outfits, like what's going on? So I went to her one day and I asked her, I was like, what's going on? Why, you know, when am I going to get trained? And she told me, oh, your store manager has to approve, and once he approves, we can go ahead. So I'm just thinking in my mind, like, I'm annoyed. So just imagine me, I'm just like, what? Because I'm like, I thought this was already approved. Y'all have me in here working all the time. And then not only was I working all the time, I was working long hours. I was working like 9-hour shifts. On top of that, I was working up to like 33-34 hours a week. And I'm a student, so I was pretty much, I had 2 jobs, and it was a lot. I was working all the time, and I was just like, why can't I stay in here? Like, what's going on? So I went to my store manager and I asked them, and I was really nice about it too. Like, you guys know me, I'm super nice. Like, I have met a lot of you guys in this makeup store. Like, a lot of you guys who watch me have seen me in there, like, who live in my like Atlanta area. A lot of you guys have seen me working in there, and we're like, oh my god, like, I've taken pictures with some of you guys. So you guys, if y'all see me in this makeup store, y'all know I was in there all the time. So I went to him and I was just like, is it okay if I can stay? You know, if I can stay in there? You know, is it okay if I switch over? And he like flat out, no care in the world, was like, you're temporary. That's exactly how he said it. He was just like, you're temporary. And I was like, okay. So I walked away at first because I was so mad. Like, literally my heart dropped into my stomach. I really wanted to cry because I was so hurt. And not only was I hurt, I was more confused because I felt like I was getting told so many different things. And I was like, why am I being told so many different things from people who are supposed to be management? Everybody's supposed to be cohesive when you have a job, and I feel like my management team was not cohesive. So I was just like, okay. So I was like mad about that. So I pretty much, I went back to him the same day, and I was like, I'm confused. You know, the manager at this makeup store, she said everything's okay. You know, you said, you know, like, I thought you were okay with it too. You know, even the assistant store manager said it was okay. So why? And he was pretty much just like, oh, you have to get more credit cards and more other stuff before you can even be considered to stay in there. And as I'm walking away, because I'm just like, okay. So as I'm walking away, then he throws in there. He just throws in there casually, oh, and you got a complaint. And mind you, this complaint was so minor, and I have never gotten a complaint ever at work. The complaint that I got was, I was working in the makeup store by myself one night. I was by myself. Literally no one was in there with me except for me. And I had like 4 customers in there by myself because they didn't have no one in there with me. And this lady came, she was walking past the makeup store, and she was like, where's Levi's at? And I told her, I was like, oh ma'am, it's down here, you know, it's down here to the left. I would walk you there, but I can't leave this, you know, where I'm at right now. I'm sorry. So I guess she got mad, even though I apologized like 5 times that I couldn't walk her, because I'm always the type of person that I'll walk you. I'm the worst, like, explaining directions. So I always walk you to where I'm telling you. And I guess she got mad about that and told on me. But I feel like it was so minor that I feel like if I was a manager and I heard that and I went to the person And I was like, what happened? They told me. I would have been like, that's minor. And what really pissed me off the most was that my store manager now, not even assistant manager, my store manager couldn't even come to me and pull me aside and ask me what happened. He just assumed like I just did something so bad and so wrong. When I feel like that's something that you should ask. And I feel like not only that, that's something so minor. But it was more sad because my store manager didn't even realize that I was in the makeup store all the time. He assumed that I was working with the clothes and like on the floor doing clothes and stuff. So I'm like, for one, you didn't even come and ask me what happened because you got all your facts messed up and you're holding that against me and not allowing me to work in a section that you know that I'm good at, that you know that I'm great at, and you won't let me work in there because of that. So I was just like, okay, I was really upset about it, but I got to the point where I kind of got over it. And I don't know, I got over it, and I pretty much just kind of just kept working in there because I just felt like, well, if I keep working there and I keep doing good, they'll keep me. And even my assistant store manager, she was like, if you work good, if you work hard, if you do things in there, he'll notice and he'll let you stay. So I was working hard in there. I was making a lot of sales. I had customer reviews. People loved me in there, and still they weren't keeping me. I was still working in there every time I came to work. Like literally this went on for 3.5 months. Every time I came to work, I still was in there. They just weren't keeping me in there. So I got to the point where I got really fed up with them, and I got to the point where I was like, I can't do this. And not only did I get fed up, I learned that there's a big pay difference, like a $2 pay difference, which is a lot. And I learned that I wasn't entitled to getting, not only that, I wasn't getting equal pay. I wasn't getting equal pay while I was working in there. Everybody was getting paid more when we all were doing the same thing. And also, I wasn't entitled to like gratis, which is free makeup. I wasn't entitled to that either because I wasn't put into the makeup store system. Also, if we got any bonuses, any things, any perks, any rewards, I wasn't entitled to anything. Even though I was helping them make their goals, even though I was helping them make their sales, I wasn't entitled to anything. So I was like, I can't do this no more. So I went to my assistant store manager and I was like, I pretty much in a nicely way, I told her like, I can't work in there. It's a pay difference. It's so many things that I'm not entitled to, and could I work where I'm supposed to work? And she sat down with me and she pretty much made me feel like I had no right to ask for equal pay. She was like, that's a promotion, and pretty much I don't deserve to get promoted. And I'm like, it's not a promotion, it's equal pay. A promotion is when you're a sales associate and then you become a manager and you get a pay difference. I'm not any higher up than a sales associate. I'm pretty much the same thing, just a different title. I'm pretty much doing the same thing. Like a sales associate helps the customer. In the makeup store, you're a beauty advisor. You help the customer. You're doing the same thing. It's just this company, their pay is different. So if I'm going to work in there when their company pay is different, I should get paid equal pay. If when you work in there, if the starting rate is this much, I should get that much as well. And they were being so dirty because it was another girl who worked in there. She was able to switch over. Like she was working like I was working, and she was allowed to switch over in there. They told her that her pay was the regular pay that she got when she was just on the floor. So they lied to her. They lied and said, oh, it's not a pay difference. They lied to her. So it pretty much made me feel like, oh, okay, you guys don't think I deserve to get paid more. You guys don't want me to get paid more. You guys don't want to pay me more, even though it's equal pay. Y'all just want me to work in there like a slave and get paid less. When I'm working more hours, I'm working harder in the makeup store. So I pretty much, at that point, I was just like, okay, I can't take this anymore. And I was so quick, I was like looking for other jobs, and thank God above that I was able to find another job. I was able to find another job in another store doing the same thing. They have a makeup section doing the same thing I was doing in the makeup store that I was at, and I'm getting paid correctly. So I found that job, I got hired, and I put my 2 weeks in at JCPENNY'S. I put my 2 weeks in at JCPENNY'S, and I was like, I can't do this no more. I can't keep coming to work and stressing myself out or feel like I can't come to my managers because they're going to make me feel like crap. So what really made me dislike my store the most out of everything was that I put my 2 weeks in, and a week into my 2 weeks, I came to work one day. It was a Thursday. It was this last Thursday. I went to work, and everybody was like, oh, store manager, he wants to talk to you. He wants to talk to you. And it was weird because I was like, why does he want to talk to me? He never talks to anyone. And it was another girl in the makeup store, and they had me in the makeup store again. It was another girl in the makeup store. She was like, why am I here if you're here? And I was like, what's going on? Like, I was like confused. So I already felt like they were going to do something stupid, and they did. He pretty much was like, oh, we tell people, you know, they can put their 2 weeks in, but we don't have to, you know, allow them to go all, you know, like they don't necessarily have to stay their whole 2 weeks. So he was like, we're accepting your 2-week resignation today. And I thought he was just saying like, oh, we're accepting it. We're like seeing that you want to leave. So your 2 weeks starts today. No, he was saying like today's your last day. He was like, just give your discount card to the other manager. And I was kind of happy because I was like, because the other lady, she was in there. She was just like, you know, are you doing makeup? Like, what are you doing? And I was like, yeah, I'm doing makeup. And I just wanted to see the look on his face like, yes, I'm leaving and I'm going to do something that I like to do, and I'm going to work at a place that sees that I'm good at that, and that they're going to put me somewhere that they know I'm strongest at. Because I feel like at my job, they want to keep you when they know that you're not that good at, so they can end up firing you or they can cut your hours. Like, so I was kind of happy on that end, and two, I was so stressed out because I was working so many hours and I was in school that I was literally stressing out. Like, I literally went to the doctor and they were like, you have anxiety, like you're like really stressed out because I was so stressed about work and like hours and stuff, and like just the whole makeup store thing. So I was really relieved, but then at the same time, like, that's not right. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to not let someone work their 2 weeks. You're not supposed to cut it short because you guys are mad because I'm actually taking a stand and leaving and not dealing with you guys mistreating me. So it's been a few days since that, and I've just been chilling. I've been living it up. I've pretty much been sleeping all day and getting a lot of stuff done, getting a lot of work done with school. The only thing that I was bummed about was that I wasn't going to get those hours. Like, I had 4 days left to work, or no, like 6 days left to work. So I do have to kind of save, but it's worth it. And that's why I wanted to make this video, because I wanted to let you guys know, like, it is so worth it. Like, leaving is worth it. I don't believe, like, I feel like companies, when you're younger, I feel like they try to, they kind of hang it over your head like, oh, you know, like, don't say nothing to me because I'm your boss and I can fire you. Don't take that shit, because you are worth more than what they say, and you will find you a better and better thing. And I feel like when we're young, because I'm only 19, I feel like a lot of younger people, 19, 20, 21, 22, whatever, in college, around my age, they are scared to leave, because are scared to do something that they really love, because they feel like, you know, they're not going to get it, or they're not going to get paid good or whatever. And I feel like, who cares? I love makeup. I love hair, I love makeup, I love doing makeup on people, I love helping people with makeup, and that's something that I enjoy. And when I worked in the makeup shop, I can honestly say I enjoyed being in there. I was never miserable in there. And I was trying to settle, and I was taking my managers disrespecting me, talking to me crazy. You know, some of them wouldn't even talk to you. They would ignore you. They would walk right past you. Managers in my store would literally walk right past you or whisper and talk about you amongst the other ones, managers. And I was taking that, and I got to the point where I was like, there's something out there for me. And it kind of like made me want to cry, because even like another worker in there, because I told like them my situation, he was like, you have a blessing coming. He was like, you have a greater blessing, and God is gonna give you your big payday. He's gonna give you that big dream that you've been wanting. And this was something I really wanted. This is something I wanted since I was a kid, to work in a makeup store. Like, you guys have no idea. I always wanted to work in a makeup store. And this makes me so mad, because I feel like they treated me so bad for no reason. When I never missed work. I never was sick for weeks. Some people don't miss weeks of work for whatever reason. Like, I never called out. I always was called in, and I would always come. And I feel like they just were so disrespectful. And I feel like, you know, at the end of the day, God has a plan for you. If you're working that job and they're mistreating you and they're not showing their appreciation for you, then leave. And I know it's scary, because we're in a world where, you know, it's hard to do things that you enjoy, because you're scared that you're not going to be able to find anything. But I'm like living proof that go and try to find something, because I swear, as soon as I took that plunge and I was like, I'm leaving this job, that's when this makeup opportunity came to me. Like as soon as I was like, I have to leave this job, something came. So don't think that you have to stay somewhere and be unhappy. Don't think that you have to stay somewhere and deal with bosses being rude to you and not appreciating you or just treating you bad, because you don't deserve that. And I don't care how young you are, because a lot of places they try to hang over your head like, you're young, you ain't gonna go nowhere, you need this money. And let them know, like, I do, but I'm gonna find another place that's gonna treat me right and pay me good. And that's the thing. And let this be motivation to you guys, like, out there, because don't take nothing from nobody. Like, I learned that too. Like, I'm really nice and reserved too, and I never thought in a million years that I would stand up to my bosses and like quit a job, like, you know, quit a job, and also come to them and like talk to them about my issue. And also I called corporate on them too, because I was like, I know there's other people in my store going through the same thing. And I just wanted to make this video because I was just like, don't think that you need to deal with that, because you are far more valuable than what these little companies try to make you out to be. And find a company that's going to understand that. And I feel like the company that I work for now understands that. They even understand that I'm in school, and they're willing to work around me to keep me there. That's what you need. You need a company that's going to understand you, that understand how it is to be in your position. So don't think that you can't leave, because you can. And there's something so better out there. And like, God has a plan for you. And when he told me that, I was like, you're so right. God knows what you deserve, and he knows what you don't deserve, and he will put amazing opportunities in your face for you when things don't go. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that it helped someone out there. And thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.